So I'm back with some exciting Blu-ray news, including the 40th anniversary release of Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver, some Hellblazer on demand, and final specs on the collector's edition Director's Cut release of William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist III. So first up, November 8th sees the 40th anniversary edition release of Taxi Driver, featuring a special 4K restoration overseen by Martin Scorsese and the film's cinematographer, along with a fantastic jam-packed host of special features to go along with it, including a special Q&A session, the original 1986 Criterion Collection commentary track with Scorsese and Paul Schrader, along with additional commentary tracks, 6 featurettes, original theatrical trailer, and on disc 2 of this Blu-ray set, you get a fantastically long documentary about the making of the film, a storyboard to film comparisons gallery, and animated galleries altogether for what is going to turn out to be probably the go-to set for any fan who wants to get Taxi Driver in the best quality possible. Getting the 4K restoration is absolutely positively going to be something to behold. And on October 16th and 19th, Taxi Driver will get a special limited theatrical re-release. So they are going all out for the celebration of the legacy of this fantastically classic film that anyone who enjoys Taxi Driver definitely is going to have something to majorly look forward to in October, and especially November, when this home video release gets onto shelves. Is going to be something to behold. And moving on from that is something a little bit more, well, let's go with television base here, because a lot of people did enjoy the NBC series based on the DC Vertical comic Hellblazer entitled Constantine, and it didn't get too good of a treatment. It got canceled after its first season. Got a little bit of a slight resurgence there on an episode of Arrow, but it has yet to get a physical format release. But Warner Brothers has announced that Constantine will get its full series release on manufacturer-on-demand DVD and Blu-ray very soon. So people who did enjoy Constantine will finally be able to enjoy it on a physical format release, be able to own the series on either DVD or high-definition Blu-ray sometime in the very near future. And it's a very nice thing also here that Lionsgate has apparently gotten the rights from some of the old Vestron video catalog releases, and some of them are great things to hear that they're finally getting high-definition releases, including Return of the Living Dead 3, which is going to be getting the unrated cut released, because that has only ever been released on Laserdisc, on VHS. The DVD release has only ever been the R-rated cut. I'm not entirely certain it's even in widescreen, so finally getting that in a high-definition format, widescreen, uncut, is fantastic. It's a really good, interesting type of film. So if you like the first two ones, Return of the Living Dead 3 is a little bit of a turn of the corner in a certain way. It's a little less comedy, a little less satire, a little less parody, but it still has a certain interesting type of edge from director Brian Yuzna. It's a very interesting, cool kind of film that is a little bit wonky here and there, but there's some very good elements, especially the focusing central love story of the film that just holds so much great qualities and so much great acting talent, and just a very good film that does go a little bit under recognized in certain times. But also we're beginning release of C.H.U.D 2 Bud the Chud, which is very much a sort of non-sequel to C.H.U.D, but it's got its own little cult following of sorts, so it's going to be kind of nice to give that cult following their own high-definition release of the film as well. But the major thing here, the one that's been, it was announced some time ago, but I haven't done a Blu-ray news video in some time. I'm just like, Chopping Mall. Fucking Chopping Mall is finally getting high-definition, widescreen, fantastic release, because there's been such a bizarre rights issue that Director Jim Wynorski's been trying to work it out for years to try and get the rights to be able to release the thing on Blu-ray, and it's been such a mess of a thing that even the DVD release is still sourced from the old VHS master. It's going to be fantastic. Chopping Mall, which is an absolutely wonderful film. It's like Short Circuit meets The Terminator meets Dawn of the Dead, and just such a fantastically entertaining thrill ride of a fun fucking movie. I love it. I reviewed it for Forever Horror Month about 2 years ago. Go check that out. But Chopping Mall getting a high definition Blu-ray release with 3 commentary tracks, 8 featurettes, an isolated score track, and the trailer on it. God damn, thank you so much. This is going to be a fantastically, sorely needed release for anyone who's enjoyed this film, which is just complete, beautiful 80s indulgence. You just have to see it to just enjoy the living shit out of how much fun Chopping Mall absolutely is. This Vestron video catalog is really kind of coming together with a couple other titles, like there's going to be a Waxwork 2 double feature, Blu-ray set, so they're pulling out a couple of the licenses, trying to get whatever rights they can to re-release these Vestron video collector series, which is a fantastic thing to kind of dig these old films out from the 80s or whatnot, or early 90s, and kind of repackage them and really give them the proper digital format release that they really deserve. So good on Lionsgate and whoever else for digging up these rights and getting everything kind of sewn together with all this type of stuff to really kind of appease the fans of all these little kind of horror movies and B movies and genre films that they're really trying to put together really good quality packages. So definitely one I'm going to be looking forward to, but the release that I'm really excited for, because it is one of my favorite horror films of all time. I covered it in the very first Forever Horror Month here on the YouTube channel, is William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist III getting a fantastic collector's edition release from Scream Factory. And this is definitely one of the releases that they're putting an extra special effort into, as I will get into a little bit later on. But this is another 2-disc set with some great stuff on both discs, including a new 2K scan from the original Interpositive for the theatrical cut of the film, along with vintage featurettes, vintage interviews with numerous cast and crew, deleted scenes and alternate footage from the film, along with a deleted prologue, so not a lot of details on exactly what this stuff is yet, but there is known that there is deleted footage, and I'll get into a little something here in just a moment here, but there's also going to be trailers and TV spots and photo galleries as well. But the big thing about this release on disc 2, they've gone through extra special effort, because it's been rumored for many years that there should be a director's cut somewhere in existence for this film from some source somewhere, because this was based on William Peter Blatty's own novel Legion, and when he adapted his own novel to the film as the screenwriter and director, Morgan Creek, which was the production company, ended up kind of getting their hands into the film and reworking things, because they wanted to sell it as a sequel to The Exorcist, but then they realized there really was not much of an exorcism in the film, so they had Blatty add in a whole bunch of stuff and reshoot different scenes. A lot of stuff got cut out and changed, and so there was a lot of deleted footage that no one had ever really seen before, aside from little snippets and some trailers or whatnot. Right now, Scream Factory has been working very diligently to dig up whatever sources possible to assemble the closest approximation of Blatty's director's cut. Now, unfortunately, they went through entire pallets of film elements from Morgan Creek and such to find the missing footage, but unfortunately a lot of that stuff was lost. So they had to source a lot of stuff from videotape elements and try to refashion stuff from the reshot footage to kind of approximate the best way possible the original vision Blatty had for the film. And the director's cut will be titled Legion, after the name of the book. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to see how this is cobbled together, if they're going to do a lot of different quality changes and such, like they kind of did for the Manhunter release, where they kind of had one version of the film that was completely sourced from the videotape, another version that was kind of interspliced between like the high definition film print and the videotape footage. So it's going to be kind of interesting how they kind of splice it all together and try to make it as not jarring or as abrupt as possible, but trying to take it from so many different sources that they possibly can to kind of splice and cut and paste things together to kind of approximate a sort of Frankenstein's monster version of the film. Will probably be a very interesting experience, but to get anything close to what Blatty intended, to get even a rough sketch of it, will be a very interesting experience. And so I very much look forward to experiencing that cut of the film. And the second disc of the Blu-ray set will include a brand new audio interview with Blatty himself, along with 5 featurettes with interviews from producers and production designers and the composer of the film, Barry Dvorak. He's going to have his own featurette. You're going to have cast members including Brad Dourif interviewed for this whole thing. You're going to have so many different people, effects artists, all these different people interviewed in depth about the various qualities and production issues about the whole film, going very much in depth about The Exorcist 3, which I think is definitely one of the most underrated films out there, because everyone talks so much about the original film as being such a great classic, and Exorcist 2 being such a terrible failure, and kind of like the prequels kind of have their own problems as well, having 2 different versions of that. Exorcist 3 can go a little bit overlooked in a certain way, and absolutely positively should not, because it is such a tense, atmospheric, suspenseful film with such strong characters and fantastic lead as George C. Scott in the film. It's just a fantastically well-directed film, despite even though the theatrical cut does have that sort of jarring sense going into the third act of the film, where it gets a little bit more over the top and grandiose. But the more I watch this film, the more I absolutely positively love it. So it's definitely one of those films that just smooths over more and more the more you watch it and whatnot, and just like you get sucked into it. And it has one of the creepiest scenes you've ever seen in any horror film whatsoever. You see a lot of horror films trying to do a jump scare. The Exorcist 3 has the mother of all jump scares, and it is built up magnificently well. But regardless of that, this is going to be a fantastic release that I hope to get my hands on as soon as possible when it gets released in October, I believe it is, right around Halloween time. So I'm looking forward to it, and there's a lot of other stuff coming from Scream Factory, which is just one of the best freaking companies out there, always just churning out more and more stuff. I am very much hoping to get my hands on stuff like their release of Invasion of the Body Snatchers 78, the one they just released for Transformers the movie. They're churning out some fantastically looking stuff right now, and stuff even more coming down the line, such as the collector's edition of Child's Play and Black Christmas. There's a lot of stuff they're working on so diligently, and they're not slowing down anytime soon. And the fact that someone finally took the time to give the just respect to Exorcist 3 is just so high on my meters of just respect overall and admiration, and just overall it's a great company that just knows exactly what the fans want out there and try to deliver exactly everything they possibly can every single time. So thanks guys for watching. Sorry if I'm a little sweaty here. Still trying to work out the new dynamics of the room without screwing up the audio with a lot of fans and whatnot. So if I'm a little sweaty on camera, forgive me. Still working it out. But hopefully the information I imparted on you guys and the passion I gave for some of these titles, I hope you really enjoyed getting that information. And anything you're excited about, throw your comments below. Tell me what you're looking forward to, what you really can't wait to get your hands on when it hits those Blu-ray shelves at the retailers or on Amazon or wherever it is you want to buy your Blu-rays. So thanks guys for watching. I'll be back as soon as I can with new content. So take care guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.